So I really want to make sure I clarify the difference in this cap. This is what I would call a hand-tied top, and it is a double layer. So Spencer has these bangs that you can bring forward. Okay, so here is the fun, adorable Austen. You have been searching for that perfect bob. I would recommend this one completely, and it would be very glamorous looking. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the Icons collection by Belle Tress. But before I jump into it, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. Okay, so if you haven't heard me say this already, just know that I personally am very excited about the Icons collection. If I take a look at all of Belle Tress's items that have come out, they've been like rapid fire releasing items over the last year or so. It's so hard to keep up, but also so amazing at the same time. But if I look at all of their collections, all of their styles, I think the Icons collection is my favorite out of all of them so far. So the Icons collection features 12 new styles on a brand new cap that they haven't done before, and it also involves 12 colors. Now, although I do have all 12 of the Icons styles here with me, I'm actually going to break this up into 2 videos because otherwise it's going to be a pretty long video. So I'm going to be showing 6 styles today, and then I will make another video soon with the other 6. I thought I'd start off by showing you guys the 6 shorter styles, and then my next video will be of the 6 longer styles. So today's video will be short up to sort of mid-length, and then my next one will be the mid-length down to the long ones. Now, without dilly-dallying too much longer, I'm gonna just jump right into it and start off by showing you guys the cap of the Icons collection. Now, there are specific features on this cap that I really want to point out to you guys so that you truly understand the difference between this cap and Belle Tress's other caps. Sometimes I feel like not all the information is given to you guys, and I've already seen a little bit of misinformation spread about these caps, so I really wanna make sure I clarify the difference in this cap. And I'm also going to compare it to the Luxe SE collection cap as well as the Luxe cap, so you can actually see the differences. So here in my hand right now is the Icons collection cap. You're gonna notice that this is a partially hand-tied cap. Now, when I say partially hand-tied, I don't mean that it is 100% hand-tied. I have seen some misinformation spread saying that this is 100% hand-tied cap. It is not. So it's a partially hand-tied cap because up here on this half of your cap, that is the hand-tied section here. You see all these little dots? That is where all of these fibers have been hand-sewn, hand-knotted by hands up here on this really soft, lightweight, stretchy material. Now, it's partially hand-tied because after that, you're gonna see all these rows here. These rows are not hand-tied. They are on that same material that you see here. So it is that same soft material, but these are closed wefts, meaning that all of the fibers here have been sewn in a row from a machine. This part here is not hand-tied. It's sewn by a machine into rows. So hand-tied up here where you see all these clusters of knots, these little dots, and then these are machine sewn down here. Overall, the cap of this is still gonna be nice and stretchy. It is nice and lightweight, and it's really soft. Now, quickly in comparison, the cap part, so the part that goes around your head here, partially hand-tied, is practically the same cap as the Luxe SE collection. You're gonna see that this right here is the Luxe SE collection. It is hand-tied up here and wefted in the bottom half. So the cap part of the Icons collection is very similar to the Luxe SE collection. So here are the caps side by side, with this being the Icons and this being the Luxe SE. So pretty much the same cap. Now, if I show you the difference in caps of the Luxe collection, so now this is the Luxe cap. The Luxe cap, this one is 100% hand-tied. It's hand-tied all throughout this whole cap here. You don't see the wefts at the bottom. Honestly, you do have 2 or 3 rows of wefts way at the bottom, but overall, this is a hand-tied cap through and through. The Icons is not. And here's the difference of them side by side. Now, a similarity that you're gonna find amongst all 3 of these caps, the Icons, the Luxe SE, and the Luxe, is that they're all gonna have the extended velvet nape with Velcro adjusters. So this is the Icons, this is the Luxe cap with the extended velvet nape and Velcro adjuster. Same idea. And then this is the Luxe SE, extended velvet nape with the Velcro adjusters. So they all have the same nape situation going on. Okay, now here is a big difference that is new to the Icons Collections cap. So you're gonna see on the Luxe cap, we have a lace front that extends around your ear tabs here. And these are silicone ear tabs that are like built in to this lace front here. You can't take that off. It's right in the cap there. This ear tab is essentially the same on the Luxe SE cap. You'll have the lace all the way around the ear tab. It's pretty much built in there. It's hard to take that part off. Now the Icons ear tabs are a little bit different. Although they have this silicone ear tab here, it is pretty loosely sewn on here. I don't know if you can tell, but you can easily take a seam ripper and take off this silicone part. It's not really attached the same way as the other ones. You can take it off. You're gonna have more lace underneath to work with if you'd like that. And you're still gonna have the metal stay here. So it's still gonna stay flush to your temples. It's not gonna affect the way it lays on your head, essentially. But if you're not into having this silicone tab there, you could, like I said, easily take a seam ripper and just take those stitches out and not have it if you don't want it. Okay, now here's one of the biggest differences in the Icons cap from all of Belle Tress's other caps. And this is something I really want to make sure you guys understand the difference between. Now, Belle Tress calls this a double mono top or a double monofilament top. If you think of a monofilament top, which is probably something that you guys are used to, this is what it looks like. It is basically this sort of thicker, stiffer, lace-like material. It's not lace, but it's a lace-like material. And like I said, it's thicker and kind of stiff that you see on the top of a lot of these kind of ready-made wigs from the big brands. A monofilament top allows the fibers to be hand-tied onto this material here so that the fibers can change direction easily and so that it gives you that illusion of scalp. Hold on, let me get it for you. That illusion of scalp right from your part line, just like that. So we are familiar with these monofilament tops, these full monofilament tops on their Luxe collection caps, as well as their Luxe SE collection caps. Both of these caps have a full monofilament top, whereas you might be used to their City collection caps, which have a monofilament part line, which is just about an inch space or so of the same material. Now, like I said, Belle Tress is calling this a double mono top, but it's really not a monofilament top. It's not made out of the same material. This is what I would call a hand-tied top, and it is a double layer, so they are right about that. So what we have here, it's not that same lace-like material that you would see on these lace fronts here that, you know, transition smoothly back into the whole mono top. Like these caps here, it's the same material on the lace front as it is on the mono top. It's all the same. On your Icons collection cap, you have that lace front here, but here you can see these seams and it transitions into this double hand-tied top. So let me finally explain this to you. It is a double layer here. As you can see, I can pull this apart. This is like a mesh-like sort of tulle material. It is going to be softer than a monofilament top, and it's going to move a little bit more easily. Something like this is great for someone who has a sensitive scalp, sensitive skin, wants something a little bit more soft on the top of their head. Now, because this is a different material, it's softer and sort of more movable, you're not gonna see the same type of hairline on your scalp. Now on these hand-tied tops, instead of being sewn into one, maybe two strands of hair like they do on the monofilament tops, these hand-tied tops are sewn more into clusters. So you are going to find that the part line on your hand-tied top on the Icons collection, it might be a little bit more obvious. You are going to see those clusters a little bit more easily. And let me show you that in comparison to a monofilament top here. Here's the monofilament top, where each of these fibers are sewn one, maybe two fibers. And then again, the hand-tied top where they're sewn into clusters, where they're gonna be just a little bit more visible. Now, overall, you guys, when I put on the Icons collection and show you, it's really not that noticeable. You're not gonna notice a huge difference, but I just wanted to make sure you knew the difference in these caps because it is quite a big difference and quite a big change from their old caps. Okay, finally, now that we have the whole cap situation out of the way, I'm going to put on these styles for you. And like I said, I have 6 of them here to show you, and I'm gonna be showing you guys the 6 shortest ones today. And then soon I will make a video on the 6 longer, sort of mid-length to longer ones. Now we're gonna start though with the shortest one. And I have right here, Spencer. So Spencer is gonna be a nice tapered back, really cute pixie cut, very stylish and trendy. This one I think would work for the younger generation and the older generation. It's very universal. Now, one thing to know about these Icons Collections caps is that they fit probably the smallest out of all of their caps. I'm a petite size, measuring 20.5 inches in circumference, 11.5 inches front to nape, and 11.5 inches ear to ear. These caps fit me pretty good. They're not like tight as a glove on me, but in terms of their circumference, they fit me nicely. I don't even think I would bother with the adjusters. It fits nicely, like I said. There is a little bit of bulk in the rest of the cap, but it's not a lot. And because this is a partially hand-tied cap, it's not gonna feel too bulky on me, or it's not gonna feel as bulky as it would if it were a fully wefted cap. So this one is laying flat sort of against my head without too much bunching happening. That being said, although these fit like a little bit smaller than average, this will fit an average person well as well. There is stretch in here. I would just be wary if you are someone who is bigger than average. If you are more of a 22-inch circumference, I think these will fit you just fine as well because there is stretch to the cap, stretch in your circumference. If you are pushing closer to a 22.5 to 23-inch circumference head, I think this is going to be a little bit too snug on you. However, if you are somebody out there who has tried these caps before, let us know in the comments if you are, above average to large and if you've tried them and how they feel on you. Because really, to be honest, I can truly only speak to the petite, average sort of family. When it comes to the average large to large, it's hard for me to say if this is going to be super tight on you. And it also really depends as well on how we feel comfortable in a wig and what is too tight. What is too tight to you might be perfect for someone else, even if you have that same head circumference. Anyways, okay, this is Spencer. Spencer has these bangs that you can bring forward. If they're too long, you can always point cut them, trim them a little bit, or you can push them to the side really easily. You, of course, have the lace front here that goes all the way to your ear tabs. So a nice extended lace front, which is really nice to have. There's a lot of layering happening in here. And like I said, taper in the back, so that means it just kind of gradually gets shorter and shorter by your nape there. Let me give you a peek at this hand-tied top here. So I can part this anywhere on these hand-tied tops. You can still part them anywhere you want. And of course, all of these styles are made with Belle Tress's Luxe heat-friendly fibers. Now I'm wearing this in the color Coconut Milk Gray, which is their newer color for the Icons collection. I'm not gonna dive deep into these colors today. This is gonna be more about the style, but I will make a video later that does sort of explain the colors in more depth and compare them to others. You will find on Coconut Milk Gray though, that the back at the nape is a darker gray. Okay, we're gonna go shortest to longest. So I'm gonna take off Spencer, and next up we are going to grab Austen. And I'm showing Austen here in the color Cool Chai Blonde Rooted. And remember, all of these Icons collection styles have the exact same cap and they all fit about the same as well. Okay, so here is the fun, adorable Austen. Let me give you a quick spin. So just in case you didn't notice, Austen is super short at the nape here. and then just a little bit longer at the front. This one reminds me a little bit of Los Angeles from Belle Tress's City collection. There is a little bit of layering in this, so not all the fibers are going to be the exact same length. So you can see some shorter wavy bits here. And of course the back is nice and layered and tapered. Let me give you a peek at the lace front here. They do a really good job at the lace front. I love how the colors on this don't create that huge banding, like rainbow effect across your forehead. I also have noticed how on these styles, the lace front kind of goes back a little bit. Like it's not super straight. It kind of gives you a little bit of depth there, like almost like a really mini widow's peak. So it does go a little bit back, if you can kind of tell. And then of course, extending down closer to your ear tabs. Now let me give you a peek of the hand-tied top here. You are gonna notice it might be a little bit more clustery looking because these knots on this color are a little bit darker. All right, taking off Austen, and I'm gonna put on another really cute wavy one for you called Monroe. I'm assuming this is named right after Marilyn Monroe. Here it is. So let me start off by giving you guys a spin of Monroe. So obviously on Monroe, you're gonna have more of a bang situation here, whereas on Austen, you didn't really have any bangs. It was all just kind of a bit longer in the front, more about your chin length here. So Monroe has these bangs here and more of a layered effect coming back. So it is gonna be longer in the back and shorter in the front, almost like a mullet, but it's not a mullet. Because you do have quite a bit of short layering. It goes back, you know, back to here, and then it gets longer beyond that. So there is all of those short pieces here and then longer behind there. Now you do have layering throughout Monroe, and you are gonna notice this is more of a curl pattern, whereas on Austen was a bit more of a looser wave. So you are gonna notice a bit more curls happening here. So I'm showing this in the color Sparkling Champagne Blonde Rooted. Here's that lace front. Again, not that huge banding effect with all of the light fibers being brought forward. It's nice and sort of scattered and speckled, so it's not too obvious, which I'm loving. And then, again, you're gonna see a little bit more clusters happening because of the darker root. All right, you guys, so here is the cute Monroe, but I'm gonna take off Monroe and put on what might be one of my favorite bobs, like not even just in this collection, but of like all the bobs out there. This is Beckham, named by Victoria Beckham, of course. So let me get this one situated for you. If you are loving the bobs and you have been searching for that perfect bob, I would recommend this one completely. I find this bob a little bit more unique than just a standard bob because you're gonna have these sort of shorter face framing layers in the front. However, they blend nicely into these longer layers here that come forward. And I find these longer layers in the front are just a touch longer than in the back. So let me do a spin for you and you'll find the front is just a little bit longer. I'm someone who doesn't usually love the situation of short in the back, long in the front. So this is just subtle enough that you can barely even tell. And the layering in the front really sort of counteracts that and gives it a lot of interest to the style. Now I'm showing this in the color Buttercake Blonde Rooted. Here's the lace front on this. Again, they don't bring too much of the lighter blonde fiber forward. So it is that nicer, sort of speckled lace front with dark and light fibers going all the way down to your ear tabs. And then here is Buttercake Blonde's part line. Okay, taking off Beckham and starting to get a little bit longer now, guys. I'm gonna be putting on Wintour for you. And I'm showing Wintour in the color Brown Sugar Blonde Rooted. So this one has more of a bang situation going on here. I know so many of you love bangs. So you could have these bangs in the front. They are, of course, a little bit long. Sometimes people are like, why would you want bangs that are so long? Well, often manufacturers make the bangs a little bit long because everybody has different size foreheads. And of course, you can always make bangs shorter, but you can't make bangs longer. So if you wanted these bangs to be in front like this, you can cut them, and it's super easy to point cut them or take it to a stylist and do that. But they're also long enough that you don't have to pull them forward, and you can brush them to the side to sort of integrate with the rest of the hair or make sort of like a side swept look happening here. So here is Wintour. Let me give you a little spin. She's a nice layered bob with bangs. I find Wintour has a lot of natural body to her, and that comes naturally from all of the layering. Whenever you have these shorter layers, it just makes it a little bit more lightweight and effortless to get that body and that volume going on in her. So some people might say, well, it looks like she's got a lot of hair. It's not that she has a lot of hair, because she is still a lower density, as are all of these styles. They are on the lower density side, but all of these layers give you the ability to play with her a little bit more and give her sort of that extra bouncy volume going on. Now, again, this is the color Brown Sugar Blonde Rooted. It's a really nice brunette blonde mix. Here is that lace front, which I find is nice and natural here, going all the way to your ear tabs. And then let's take a look at that hand-tied top. You guys see what I mean? How all of these are just absolutely adorable. I know I was saying how much I love Beckham, but honestly, you guys, Wintour is calling my name right now. Okay, so I did say that I was gonna share sort of the shorter styles in this video and the longer styles in the next video. Now, I've only shown 5 so far here, but because there is 12 styles all together, I wanted to put 6 in one video, 6 in another video. However, I've kind of gone through all the shorter styles. The next shortest one is gonna be more of a shoulder length. So I'm gonna put this one in this video just to like keep it 6 in one video, 6 in the next video. But this one is definitely going into the mid-length to longer territory. So let's take off Wintour here, and I'm gonna be putting on Teresa. And Teresa is shown in the color Havana Brown Rooted. And here she is. So Teresa is definitely not short, but still sits like just above shoulders here. Okay, let me give you a spin here. Okay, so Teresa does have more of these face framing layers in the front that go back and away from your face here. This is coming into like updo territory for me. This is one that I could definitely work with if I wanted to do an updo. There is sort of some bulk in the style here. This one I feel like has maybe a little bit more hair than the others do. I don't know if I would call this one a low density like most Belle Tress styles. This one has maybe more of a low to medium density, but this one could work for a little bit of an updo with these layers in the front, and it could fit into something like a claw pretty easily, and it would be very glamorous looking. I am loving this curl pattern. It is sort of like a loose curl situation happening. There is lots of layers in this as well. It's not all just one length, so you're gonna see some shorter layers and a bit longer at the nape. So if you are wanting something a little bit more like low key, you might find that Teresa has a touch too much hair for you. But overall, this is a really beautiful style, you guys. I love this one. So again, this is in the color Havana Brown Rooted, and anytime you have darker fiber, you are gonna see the knots a little bit more on that lace front here. But here's that lace front that goes all the way around your ears or your ear tabs. And then your hand-tied top. Now, just a note for all of these styles in the Icons collection, they are not gonna have any permatease in them. So permatease is a short-haired crimping effect that is built into the fiber right near the root to give it a lot of extra volume. These styles do not have that, so they're all gonna lay pretty low profile to your crown here. Any volume you see is due to either the style and the layering, or like I said, Teresa might have a little bit more density to her than some of the other styles. All right, I think that's all I have to share with you guys on these 6 shorter styles in the Icons collection. Like I said, I will very shortly be sharing with you the 6 longer styles in the Icons collection so you can see what those ones are like too, and they are equally as beautiful. If you have any questions, make sure you share them below. I'm happy to answer them as best I can for you. But if not, then thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.